Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's me and Tracy Sinclair today. This is our segment that we do on a weekly basis called We the People. As you can get out of the way, I can show you this beautiful image we have behind us. This segment is it's a We the People segment, and it's focusing on Alaska history every week. And we'll have the week of November 10th to the 16th, where we're at right now. And this is a segment that's talks about Alaska history and also U.S. history as we approach next year's massive 250th anniversary of the United States of America. It's going to be 250 years since July 4th, 1776, when this country came into being as we know it. And as we approach that, again, we're looking at every week what's going on, and specifically for our state and our state's history.
And it's been really fun to kind of look back and see some of these stories that some I remember, some I don't, and just kind of getting a chance to learn about them has been really very fun. So where are we starting off this week?
Absolutely. Well, we're starting with something that's very important to our state, talking about the oil pipeline. As we're looking at November 10th, this is not imagery from this date, but November 10th on this day in 1981, the 2 billionth barrel of North Slope crude oil reached the Valdez terminal. Again, when we look at milestones for the pipeline, and it was on this day that the 2 billionth, that's billionth with a B, the 2 billionth barrel of oil reached the Valdez terminal.
And of course, they're well above that now. Also this week in history, on the 16th, is when the construction of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline was authorized by President Nixon. So 2 different milestones with the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. Full disclosure, I used to work for Alaska Pipeline Service Company, so I do know a lot of the history, and yeah, it's a big deal every time you hit that billionth barrel, because that's a lot of oil. Absolutely. It is a lot of oil.
It is, yeah, and certainly Alaskans have profited off of that over the years. So,
yes.
Yeah. Next up, when we're looking at Alaskan history, it was on this day that in 1938. This is an interesting piece of history, but November 11th, 1938. Was the day that the last train left Kennecott, the mines there in Kennecott, after years of production in the Wrangell Mountains. This is a video previously that we took of those mines. If you've been to the area, you're familiar with that. It's near McCarthy. But this is a copper mine that flourished in the early 20th century. But by 1938, that copper ore had been nearly depleted. And of course, the effects of the Great Depression that was hitting America as a whole were really much too much to keep it open. So
yeah, and so in June of 1998, the National Park Service took some of the significant buildings of the mining town, and it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1978 and was designated as a National Historic Landmark in 1986. I've never been. It is one of those places that I think would be really interesting to go visit, but I've never been down there.
You've never been down there?
Have you been
years?
down? Yeah.
I've been down there. It's been a long time. I believe I was a kid when I went down there with my parents, so it's a really cool place.
Yeah, I'll have to put it on my list, because this is one of those places I have not seen, but I would like to.
Absolutely. All right, moving along. We'll be looking at something that's important for something that really is important, I guess, for us here in Anchorage. Looking at on this day, it was November 12th, 1940, that Elmendorf Field and Fort Richardson were designated by the War Department. So again, 1940, right before our country went into World War II, these 2 important military bases were designated. And this, when you look at just how much they mean nowadays, it's known as Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson, of course, but at the time it was Elmendorf Field and Fort Richardson.
Yeah, so we moved up here in '72 and moved on to, at the time, Elmendorf Air Force Base. Moved up from, it wasn't Fort Walton Beach, Eglin Air Force Base, which is right at Fort Walton Beach. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, it's been through a couple changes out there, but another really cool place.
Absolutely, yeah, no, we love it. So, all right, and one of the last things we're going to hit here, it's a really cool story, a really cool thing when you look at who this man is right here. Some of you may know him. That's Colonel Norman Vaughn. It was on this day, November 16th, 1994 that Colonel Norman Vaughn began his second attempt to climb this mountain in Antarctica that bears his name. He's, Norman Vaughn, known for just his outworldly adventures, just kind of a pioneer in Alaska and other places around the world. But when you look at the name of Mount Vaughn, 10,000 feet roughly in Antarctica, and at this time he was an older man, and he was on his way to climbing this. It was amazing.
Yeah, I saw one site that called him that Vaughn evolved into Alaska's most famous senior citizen. There he is, right there, and his actions inspiring the elderly to ignore old age and rocking chairs, and the young to feel unconstrained by the horizon. So his favorite motto was "Dream big and dare to fail." So. He first went to Antarctica, as you see right there, in the as a 22-year-old, and they named the mountain after him then. And so anyway,
yeah,
that was so exciting.
What an adventurer! What an explorer! I mean, that's why. His place in Alaska history is well cemented, obviously, and just that's when you get a mountain named after yourself, especially in a place like Antarctica, really impressive and really
impressive. Yeah,
absolutely. We have more little details on things that happened on this day, on this week in Alaska history on our website. You can look at that on alaskasnewssource.com. There's more to it, so if you want to read about that, it's a really good read. And we'll just leave it there as for today. Appreciate you watching. Again, go to our website for more, and we'll see you later.